Okay, so first of all, right, just a little bit of advice on the calculator, okay? If you're using the Casio calculator, which most of you are, right, it's really important that you have this at the top here, right, where it says math mode. Now I know sometimes there's a problem with the calculator. Sometimes it has something else on there that you don't want. Sometimes it says like true, false. That comes up a lot, doesn't it? Okay? Or in any case, if you haven't got that math mode there, right, there is a simple way you can sort of reset the calculator. Okay, so I'm going to point that out just in case it happens to you in the exam and that math isn't there, right? Okay, because if that's there, it will help you out an awful lot in the calculator paper, right? If that math word is there. So what you do, if that math isn't there, that word isn't there, quite simply, can you see the number 9, right? Obviously, you know, number 9 there. If you look above the number 9, can you see the word CLR, okay, in yellow? Okay, so CLR stands for clear, right? So what that will do, if you press that, it will clear the whole memory and it'll reset the calculator. But of course, to get that yellow button, you've got to press Shift first, right? So if you press Shift, okay, then press 9, and then it'll give you an option then what to clear. Now I tend to clear all of it, right? So I'll press number 3 to clear the whole calculator, and then it'll ask if I want to reset. So just press, you can see that where it says yes, just press the equals button, okay? Just press the equals, and then everything's reset, okay? Are we clear on that? Just in case, you know, something happens in the exam and you're not sure how to sort your calculator out. Remember, as I said, all you've got to do is press Shift and then number 9, okay? Number 9, and it takes you through all the steps. Okay, so if we get to this question, now on the top here, you've got using the numbers, the following list, write down these different criteria here, okay? Now what's important to remember, even though this is a calculator paper, you're not necessarily going to be using a calculator for every question, all right? Sometimes you've just got to use the skills that you've learnt and apply it to each question. Now, part A, the first one here, it says a factor of 96. Okay, now when they talk about factor, right? When they talk about factor, we need to find a value up here that divides into 96. Okay, that's what factor means. One of these numbers will divide into 96. Okay? Now, you can actually use a calculator if you want to, right? So for instance, I could see if the first number divides into 96, I could do 96 divided by 26, okay? And you can see then it comes out as a fraction, right? If I press that button there, the SD button, you can see it comes out as a horrible decimal. So clearly 26 is not a factor, right? You can do that to all of them, right? Now I know the answer. I got the answer as 32. If I did that on my calculator, 96 divided by 32, okay, it comes out as 3. Okay, so 3 is what we're looking for there. Then it says a cube number. Okay, now a cube number, again, you can make use of this calculator to determine the cube number. Right? Now one of these up here is going to be a cube number. Now with this one, it's a bit more of sort of trial and improvement approach, okay? When we're talking about cube number, we're talking about multiplying the number by itself and by itself again. So I could start off by doing 1 times 1 times 1. That will produce a cube number because you times in the number by itself and by itself again. 1 times 1 times 1, if you think about it, is just 1, isn't it? Yeah? Because 1 times 1 is 1 times 1 is 1. 1 isn't in the list, so that's no good. Let's try 2. 2 times 2 times 2. Well, 2 times 2 is 4, and times that result by 2, you get 8. That's not in the list as well. Let's try 3. 3 times 3 times 3. So 3 times 3 is 9, and then 9 times 3 is 27. And you can see, of course, 27 is in the list. So 27 is your cube number from that list. Okay? Yeah? That was just trial and improvement. You don't have to know the cube numbers, but you can work them out as I've done there. Okay? Multiple of 8.5. Now that's a bit of a strange one. Okay? But when we talk about multiples, we're talking about times tables. Now, obviously, we don't know our 8.5 times tables, but what you can do, if you wanted to in this case, is use a calculator, do 8.5 obviously times 2 to start with, and you get 17. Now, 17 isn't in the list, so I'm going to go back and times it by 3. And that comes out as a fraction again, so that's not in the list. So I'm going to press the back button here on the cursor, and I'm going to go back, I'm going to press 4. That comes out as 34. Now I'm going to check, I think that is in my list, isn't it? Yeah? So 34 is a multiple of 8.5. You're timesing 8.5 by 4, you get 34. Prime number then, prime number, okay, now prime number, you need to obviously understand what a prime number is. It's a number that only has exactly 2 factors, okay? So you're looking for a number that hasn't got many factors. Now there's some here you can eliminate straight away. 28, for instance, you can forget that because you know 2 goes into 28, right? You know 4 goes into 28, so that one is out of the window. You can forget about that one. The ones you want to look for, particularly the odd numbers, okay? So for instance, 29, 31, 33, okay? But you need to be careful. 33, for instance, is odd, but 33 isn't prime, okay? If you think about 33, 3 goes into it. 11 goes into it, 33 goes into it, so it's got more than 2 factors. 29 is what I'd be thinking about. 29 could be an answer, right? If you've written 29, you've got it right. If having said that, you could have also written 31. 31 is also prime, okay? So in this case, you could have put either of these answers, okay? Either one would have counted, all right? You only have to have one of them to get the mark. Okay, let's go on to question 2. So I said we'll mark these 2 together. Now with question 2, you've got simplify the expression 9g minus 5f minus 2g plus 3f. Now what I would do here, I would collect the g's together. Okay, so you've got 9g, take away 2g. Okay, now remember, the sign in front of the term goes with it. So the fact that there's a minus 2g means that after you've written 9g, you need to write minus 2g, because that's what it is. It is minus 2g, okay? Let's go for the f terms. So the first f term is here, okay? Is minus 5f, okay? So I'm going to write minus 5f. And then I've got plus 3f. When I simplify this then, 9g take away 2g, well 9 take away 2 is 7. And then be careful here, right, because you can end up with a negative answer, simply because that's how it works on the number line. If you start at minus 5 and add 3, you end up with minus 2f. Okay? Right, part B. This is a substitution question using your calculator. I would use a calculator if it's a calculator paper. Now, my advice for you, this is how I always teach this, my advice for you, right, is where it says 3x, please don't forget that means 3 times x. Okay? That's all that means, 3 times x. So you will be timesing 3 by the value of x there, which is minus 2. And what I tend to do in a calculator paper, I will substitute in the x value. I could write 3 times minus 2. Right? I could write that because that is what my x value is. So 3x would become 3 times minus 2. What I tend to do on my calculator is I'll use a bracket, because that will make sure I multiply it. Plus then 4 times 4. Now my calculator, I will type that in, okay, so I'll have 3 times minus 2 plus 4 times 4, and it comes out to be 10, okay. With part C, it says write down the next 2 numbers in the following sequence. Now, my advice for you, whenever they give you a sequence, quite simply, look at the gap between each term. If you look at the gap here, you can see the gap is 6, I hope you can see that. But not only 6, it's actually minus in 6. It's going down by 6. If you look at the next gap, you'd expect it to be the same, wouldn't you? That's not always the case. If you look carefully here, you might think it's -6, but actually, it's take away 5. The next gap is take away 4. The next gap is take away 3. So can you see how the gap here is sort of decreasing? Okay? Now I hope you can see the patterns. Take away 6, take away 5, take away 4, take away 3. The next gap will be take away 2. So if we do 2, take away 2, we end up with 0. And then the next gap, if you follow this pattern at the bottom, obviously the next gap will be take away 1. And 0 take away 1 is -1. Okay? Right, so you can see how the marks are distributed there. You know, for instance, that last one, you get a mark for each of them there. Right, so if we start